Kris, just checking in on, I think Connor Brown wasn't on the ice today. Is there any issue there? Or?
Yeah, just maintenance day. We expect he'll be on the ice our next practice.
What's the right way to use this time you have in terms of, getting enough practice time in, giving the players enough rest, also keeping it fresh? What's the coach's balance here?
I think it's important that the guys have some time off. We gave them 2 days off, and then, we got a long stretch. There's almost a chance that we were almost playing already. Obviously, we're not playing until later in the week, and we don't want to make it too monotonous for our players. So we're going to spread out our practices, give the guys plenty of time off, and just making sure that they are on the ice. They're purposeful, and we're playing with some intensity. And we're obviously getting ready for an opponent. And right now we don't know who that opponent is. And, when we do, I guess we'll be starting sharing that information with the players on how we're going to approach the next series.
Kris, when it comes to making changes in the lineup, I just want to know how your kind of process is with your other assistants. Is you guys kind of share the information, or do you get an idea and then kind of pass it around, or how does it kind of work?
I think a lot of it has to start with, during the regular season, whether it's in January or March or whatever it is, you have an idea of who plays together and who's working well and what works under certain circumstances. And then I'm also talking to the players and talking to the coaches. But another one to talk to quite a bit is Stan. Get his perspective. He watches every game. He's up in the press box. His view on the game is a lot different than from mine, from behind the bench. And, his perspective, my perspective, usually we kind of meet somewhere in the middle, and we've got a pretty good idea where we should go forward. So I think, I think there's a lot of things. And then there's obviously the analytics. You look at that and seeing, your eye test, and you think, oh, these guys played a lot together and they played really well together. And then when you look back and like, wow, that's probably not true. Maybe our team was playing well at that time, but maybe they weren't. So I don't know. There's a lot of factors going into that.
And how does it feel when you make a change and your goalie goes on to win 6 in a row, you make a change, the guy scores the overtime winner? Like, does that kind of validate that you did the right thing?
Well, it makes it a lot easier for me. I'm happy that when it does work out, and it's tough making decisions because anytime you're putting somebody in and they're elated, they're fabulous, they're just jacked to get back in the lineup, but you're also taking somebody else out, which is not an easy thing to do.
The last one, just in your approach with players, is that you find it just be honest with guys, and it's like a Band-Aid. If you got to take a guy out of the lineup, don't.
Oh, you have to. You maybe get away with once tricking them or whatever, but the next time it's all downhill after that. So, and they want the truth. They do. They don't necessarily want to hear it, but they certainly don't want the alternative. So I think it's important that you just tell them the truth and where things are and what you're thinking about. And, just because I'm making that decision doesn't mean it's the right one. It doesn't mean that I'm taking him out and putting another player in means that other player's better than him. It's just that circumstance, and that's all my judgment at the time, and often that judgment is wrong.
Kris, in your view, what is it that allows Stuart Skinner to bounce back the way he does?
I think he's pretty easygoing, but, I think he's easygoing, but he's also very focused and dedicated at his profession. Like he works hard at practice, and he spends the time watching film and wanting to get better. So, but I think also with his personality, he's able to let things go. When things don't go well, he's able to put it behind himself, get focused on the next practice, next game, next task, whatever it is. And I think that's important. And I think also the players have faith in him that he'll bounce back and he'll be the player that we expect him to be.
Kris, when your depth has been contributing the way that we've seen them contributing, from your perspective, how does that impact the rest of the team? Like, do you notice an increase in energy, just their overall kind of emotions about that?
I think our team is very close knit. I think they feel good when anybody reaches a milestone, whether that's Leon winning a Rocket Richard trophy or somebody playing their first NHL game or getting their first goal or whatever it is, or Connor getting his 100 points this season. And I think our guys really do a good job at celebrating those milestones, those accomplishments. And I think it says a lot about the depth that everyone feels included, everyone feels important, and they're able to, when called upon, they can contribute. And you can see through the playoffs, we have had many guys step up and come up big at key times. And you can see the enthusiasm on our team, not only that we're winning hockey games, but other guys are contributing, especially guys who maybe didn't contribute as much during the regular season, and maybe it was a difficult season or difficult times at certain points. I think it's just our guys are, I don't know, they're pretty tight.
I walked into practice today. One of the first things I saw was Jeff Skinner on the ice, having a laugh. Derek Ryan was there too. They were working on something with the assistant coaches, but clearly it was jovial and such. I mean, for a player that waited as long as he waited to get to playoff hockey and to be waiting for more opportunity, just maybe a thought on how he's handled it, what you've sensed from him, and what maybe it means to the group when guys don't pout.
Jeff has been an ultimate team player through the entire season, and season hasn't gone as well as he anticipated or we anticipated. But his work ethic, his dedication, how he's handled himself has been phenomenal. And you talked earlier about, you know, how guys have been fitting in and accepted and feeling part of the team. He has been outstanding. Like, just his attitude every time he comes to the ice or to the rink and being on the ice, he's always got an upbeat personality to him, always smiling, having fun, and enjoying the moment. And obviously, there's a lot about the moment that he could be angry about and despise, but he comes with a great attitude, and he doesn't want to bring anybody else down. And I know there'll be a time, whether it's this series or later, I'm not sure, that we can use Jeff, that will not hesitate, because I think he can give us a boost when we need it, or a certain element if we're lacking it.